Hi, it's Joe. It's time for another video. Tonight's topic is going to be more of a philosophical one. Um, I'll try to be as on point as I can. I just got back from my mom's, had dinner, it was really good. And I would like to get a shower and basically go to bed. That being said, tonight's topic is what is it like to be transgender? Hmm. That's kind of a deep question. I don't really know if people really ask that, but I would have to think that I know that when I was, before I came out, I know I was looking at videos on YouTube and just trying to get an idea of, what the heck is this all about, right? Um, the only thing I can do is I can give my take on it. And as I always say before, this is my perspective and it's my experience. And with everybody else, it's going to be really different. Nobody has the same experience. That I can tell you. But even though I talked about HRT, you really don't have control over how HRT is going to work for you. But how life is, as being a trans woman, you do have control over that. So, it's something that you have input on. So basically, let's start. Let's start simple here. So I think as most people can figure out, I don't wear makeup. I'm not really a huge fan of it. It doesn't really appeal to me. I will wear it occasionally, probably tomorrow night because I have an event to go to. So I'll be in makeup tomorrow. May even wear a skirt. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do wear skirts. So I am a little bit of an oddity when it comes to being a trans woman. So I can say that I kind of always knew, but it was more I didn't understand what I was feeling. Um, I never wanted to play with dolls. I definitely like playing with the boy stuff. I still do. I always say that. It's another reason why I love my brother so much because he was such an inspiration, like everything, right? Um, so and once I kind of figured out, once I figured out that yes, I'm actually transgender. Um, it's not like I wanted to be a girl. I mean, no offense, okay, no offense. I mean, women. I mean, I love you. It's great, but I was kind of happy as a guy, even though I was miserable as hell. So, I had no clue that that was actually gender dysphoria. So everybody has different steps that they take. Everybody has their own unique journey. Um, so the one thing I can say, to anybody that was curious, so what is it actually like to be transgender? Well, I'll be honest with you. For me, it's a complete non-issue. Um, I can't stress that enough. I am not an activist. I don't march in pride parades. I don't do any of that. I'm not saying any of that's bad. That's just, I don't do that. Um, I am not very political. I mean, I am conservative, but I'm not very political. Um, and I could say that I think a lot of my being, I would say, is probably rooted in the fact that I was in the military. And like I said before, the military just changed who I was, changed my thinking. It made me align to things like what is really important to me, what is not important. So, a good night's rest, good food, that's important. Um, if I'm wearing like old sneakers that I bought, like maybe 6 years ago, I still have them, I still wear them, I don't care. Now, granted, I'm not going to wear them on a date, so just put that out there. But I think the thing is that I was very comfortable. I'll tell my coming out story a little bit later. I initially had a video about that, but I actually wanted to remake it, and I also want to have a guest for that. She doesn't want to be in front of the camera, but Melissa, you're going to be in front of the damn camera, girl. Okay, you're going to be in front of the camera, or I'll burn your hands. Anyway, so just to give you a really, really quick timeline. So I did come out March of 2015. I had been buying some clothing. I would say maybe like an hour. An hour. My God, you can tell I need to go to bed. Maybe like a year or so before I started buying things, and some things I actually still wear. So that's kind of cool. Order stuff online because my God forbid being a guy going into a store and buying women's stuff. I would be petrified. I used to have a friend do that for me. It's like I couldn't do it. But anyway, so I would say that I came out in March. I started coming out to the most important people in my life first. As many people as I could in person. I wasn't going to text them, and now granted, my mom, I so couldn't wait to tell her. I was going to tell her on the weekend, and I actually called her on a Thursday. I was just so anxious to get out. I wanted that out of the way. I really didn't know how mom was going to feel about it. She was pretty shocked. She was like, she really had to process it. And then thankfully, my cousin's like, look, you need to see your daughter as your daughter. And like my mom wasn't opposed to it. She just wasn't ready. So my cousin's like, just stop your hemming and hawing. So that's how that all started. But so I came out to a lot of people. I graduated 2015 with my degree in engineering, and I started my first job at the Navy Yard, where I still work for now. I started my first job at the Navy Yard at the end of June of 2015. And to that point, I was kind of going like back and forth between being a guy, being a girl, really trying to figure this stuff out. I had an opportunity where my cousin, same one I mentioned before, she was in the hospital for like 5 days, so she needed me to watch her daughter. Great kid. I love that kid. She is so awesome. So I was like, hey, cuz, can I, be this? And she's like, I don't freaking care. I just don't get my daughter like killed or something. I'm like, okay, good. So I actually road tested it around my hometown. Then later that month, I actually went out for the first time with my friend Melissa and another friend that I don't really talk to anymore. That's a story for another time, but I probably won't tell that story because there's really no point to it. But so I went out. I actually sung karaoke the first time out at night as a girl. I sung karaoke before HRT. I sung karaoke. I had my friend Melissa did my makeup, and she'll never do my makeup again. But Mel, I love you. But you're not a makeup artist. Just stick to like what you do. So I go out. It was kind of weird. I had to go to the bathroom, so I was like, Melissa, go to the bathroom, please. And after that, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm like, all right. A couple of my friends, a lot of my friends really got to give me an opinion on, hey, they're like, this version of you're actually not an asshole. I'm like, thanks, I think. So with my friend's consent, their consensus opinion, I should say, I knew what I had to do. I always felt better, as the woman you see in front of you. But that was even before HOT. I felt a lot better with just maybe like wearing a wig and having like fake thingies. I don't miss the fake thingies except for, when it's summertime, you could do it out. But hey, they're permanent. I can't do anything about them. So I made a decision that, hey, I was going to go for it. I scheduled an appointment with the Mazzoni Center. And I saw my doctor at the end of September 2015, started HRT, and then, mid-November the same year, I was no longer a guy, period. I was Joe. I was Joanna from there on. So my experience has been pretty good. So I didn't get my name changed until May of 2017. And so if I use a credit card, obviously I had my legal name on there. So obviously I don't look like my legal name, but I kind of sound like my legal name, but I don't care. So I always would get, they say, oh, can we see your ID? Because, hey, the other person did it, right? It's like, hey, this is like this credit card. It's like, it's got a guy's name and you're clearly a girl. So it's like, well, what's going on here, right? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And I would just like, yeah, I'm renovating. And they'd be like, they get a chuckle. They're like, okay. And they would just be completely calm because I was not making it a big deal for them. I think the fact that I don't give a shit about some stuff, I think that helps. I'm not really worried about what people think. Um, and believe me, I road tested this. I would go different places. When I got my first apartment up in Elkins Park, I would walk around and, I would go without makeup. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would shave first, but because before, when you just start HRT, you're still growing that crap in every day. And luckily, I wasn't a hairball like my brother. Now, I love my brother Will. He's the greatest. But that guy is like a hairball. And I'm like my dad. I am not. I'm like an anti-hairball. So it's like, oh, thanks. I may have like 4 hairs on my chest, literally, like down here. If they're even there still, I don't even know. Anyway, let me get back on topic here. So, it wasn't a big deal. So I was comfortable because people didn't make it a big deal. And I remember the Dunkin' Donuts that I would go to every morning because I would take the train into Center City, and then I would take the shuttle from Market East down to the Navy Yard. I remember the last day I was a guy going to Dunkin' Donuts. So I was, hey guys, I'm gonna look a little different next time I come in. I didn't tell them what. I didn't give them any details. I was like, I'm gonna look a little different. And I remember going in the first day, going to work as Joanna in November 2015, and oh my god, let me tell you, that was a weird experience. It was like, oh my god. I kept looking down at myself like, oh, I'm a girl, I'm like wearing a dress, and I'm going to work, but I'm in a dress, like, what the hell's going on here? But I walked into that Dunkin' and they cheered. It was like, yeah, they were like so happy. I'm like, oh my god, the feels. Well, I don't think I really had the feels because I literally had just started HRT, but now if that happened, oh my god, I would get the feels. I really would be. I would be like, oh my god. So, I had a good experience transitioning at work, and I just didn't really have that negative experience that some people do have. I went from being miserable looking as a guy to actually kind of everybody told me at work was like, my God, you look so relieved. You don't look like you have the weight of the world on. That's what somebody said to me. I'm like, really? I look like I had the weight of the world on me before? I don't think I was thinking that, but, so that's a really roundabout way to get back to the question of, well, what's it like to be transgender? Well, it's what you make it. I would say the key thing is it comes down to who you are. It depends on your relationships. Chances are you're going to lose people. You will lose people. It could be a really small amount. It could be a large amount. A lot of the family on my dad's side, who I wasn't really close with anyway, case in point. So, whatever. They can think what they want. I still do talk to my cousin on my dad's side. She is a wonderful, wonderful lady. I don't think she agrees with it, but she treats me the same as she's always treated me. And really, that's all I can ask for. I'm not going to enforce people and tell them they need to think a certain way because I don't think anybody should be told how they should think. There should be some things that I think, yes, so, don't be a Nazi, like real Nazis. Don't do that. Don't be genocidal. Don't be an extremist in any regard. Extreme's not good. But what I found that made it a good experience for me is that I am an incredibly extroverted person. I am very social. I'm very charismatic, and I think I got even more charismatic as a woman. So, it made life easy because people would just like ask me. And they knew my personality, so they knew they could ask me questions. And I even told people, it's like, if you got a question, just ask me. There's probably nothing that you're going to ask me that's probably going to offend me. Like I said in an earlier video, it's like, you shouldn't ask trans women about their genitals. Because it doesn't affect you, but people that I've known for a long time, people I serve with, that's a whole other level. It's a different echelon. There are things that I say to my friends that serve that would make people blush. They'd be like, oh my God, did she just say that? It's like, yes, the girl just said that. I'm not bragging about that, but I am very, as I said before, I'm incredibly open, I'm incredibly blunt, and I'm incredibly powerful. I mean, you think this top is colorful? Oh, honey, no, no. So it's been a good experience for me because I act like there's nothing wrong. I just go about my life. I personally do the same things that I did before. I go to the same places. I do the same things. One thing I can say that this is kind of a really weird side effect is I had always repressed the fact that I was transgender or some kind of understanding of it my whole life. I knew in different spots of my life, but I would repress it and then I would never remember it. When I finally transitioned, it's like, oh my God, all this other stuff, it made a lot of sense. So I could never relate to the quote unquote community because it's like I didn't want to be a girl. I was a guy. I do guy stuff. I mean, I get along with the guys. I would play sports. I play hockey. I'm probably very textbook male. I mean, probably more so than my brother. And Will, you will probably agree with me. You always said that you're still more emotional than me. I think maybe you are. I don't know. But then again, I have my moments. Well, I have my moments. I can get really like, oh, but anyway, I tell him I love him all the time, though. As with his brother, I never would say that because it's like, oh, tough guy can't show any whatever. But he has no problem with that. That's why another reason why my brother is the man, and why he's a role model. But anyway, I would say that at this point, having been on HRT for 4.5 years, I'm used to it. I had to adjust to being a little more emotional, and I struggled with that at times. But I'm in a really good spot in my life, and it's just it's all par for the course. And we have a visitor. Looks like we got a visitor. Who could it be? Who could it be? Oh, it's Mr. Kitty again. Oh, it's Mr. Kitty. Oh, hey, buddy. Hey. He's like, hey, everybody, how you doing? He just wants to be loved. Let me tell you, this guy is my rock. He loves me. I love him. You're such a good boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And if you're wondering why he's called Mr. Kitty, oddly enough, to the topic we're talking about here, he was my aunt's kitten, I should say. My aunt passed in 2008. I miss my aunt a lot. My aunt was so freaking cool. She was like the fun sister out of like her and my mom. My mom's just like, I love my mom, but she's very, nah. My aunt was, hey, let's have fun, let's do this, let's do that, and everything. Night and day. Kind of like how my brother and I were night and day, but a little bit different. So anyway, Mr. Kitty, I took him to my cousin's where I was staying for a little bit, way back in the day. And, we thought he was a girl. And, I pick him up one day. I'm like, hey! I'm like, oh, you're a Mr. Kitty. Clearly, he was not female. So, it's kind of funny that I got Mr. Kitty and now I'm the girl. So, hey. But, being transgender, it's really what you make of it. You need to have a handle on your HRT. If you feel the need to do therapy, do so. I know most people do that. Admittedly, I didn't do that. That doesn't make me special. It doesn't make me smart, stupid, or whatever. I didn't need it. I had a very long time to think about it. Like I said, I transitioned at 38. So I had a really long time to really process, like, what the heck. So I tested it out. How I felt. I guess that's the way my scientific mind works. So I had time. I thought it all out. And, I'll be honest, it worked out. I accepted being who I was, even though it's not what I really wanted for my life. I was kind of hoping I'd be married and have a couple kids by now. But, that wasn't in the cards for now. So I always, as they say in the Blues Brothers, the Lord works in mysterious ways. So, like I said, God's kind of sense of humor. When I get up there, hopefully if I'm worthy enough and I, all that kind of good stuff, not going to bog you down with religion, but I do believe in God. I have not lost my faith. I lost it for a tiny bit. I didn't say I lost it, but kind of diminished. But I'm like, God, really, man? Come on. like, why did I have to go through this? He's like, well, da, da, da. I think he got distracted. I think I was supposed to be a girl. He got distracted by, like, some angel, like, hey, go, check this out. I was like, what? And then he, like, hits the wrong button, and boom, I get the Y chromosome. It's like, great, thanks, God. But hey, it worked out for me. Now, let me say this as a caveat. What you have to consider if you're thinking about transitioning and you're really thinking about it, like I said in my HRT video, women come in all shapes and sizes. I'm only 5'6". I'm really not built too big. I'm really not. I don't really even have an Adam's apple. Not really sure what that is. I'm kind of naturally curvy. I actually had a hormonal imbalance for some reason. I had high levels of prolactin and then extremely low levels of testosterone, so it didn't take long for me to go. So, hey, one of these days we'll figure this all stuff out. But when I get up to the pearly gates, hopefully God's gonna be like, well, I did it because blah 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 blah, and this is why. I'm like, okay, who am I to argue with God, right? Unless God asks for a starship, because what does God need with a starship, right? Come on. So, think about what your surroundings are. Think about your support. Think about where you live. Think about, think about basically what you are going to, how you're going to appear. Think about how you want to dress. One of the biggest things I see in older people who transition is they might wear so much makeup they end up looking like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. Don't be Mimi. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. What you want to do is you basically want to assimilate in society. Now, a lot of people will use the term pass. I used to use that term, and then a trans girl that I used to talk to, not anymore because for reasons that aren't relevant. It's like, well, passing says you're trying to masquerade at, if you will. Whereas assimilate is like, hey, I'm a girl, and this is what I do. Now, granted, it is easy for some people, and also depends where you live. So, I live in Philly, and I live in an area where we have bigger priorities than, used to be a guy or whatever, because what they're going to look at is, am I respectful? And yes, I am. I was brought up to be very respectful. If I disrespected somebody, believe me, I got home, and my dad was already there, or my dad was going to get home later, my dad had a belt. So oh yeah, you want to disrespect people? No, my father didn't beat me. I was not abused. Oh my God. People are really getting soft these days, But anyway, I'm very respectful, courteous. I treat everybody the same. I treat the captain the same as I treat the janitor. I literally use the same language. I mean, like I said, I'm a little free with my mouth at work. I shouldn't be. That's a lesson for me for the future. But, I think people respect me because I'm a person. And I'm not coming at them with some kind of... I'm not coming at them with an agenda or a trans agenda or this, that, or the other. I'm just Joe. It's like, I'm Joe. I work for this company. I do this for, where I work. I'm an engineer. I'm looked at that. I'm looked at, hey, Joe is a veteran. She was an electrician. Joe knows what she's actually doing. So, let's just say Joe's a pretty good cook because, yeah. But that's who I am. That is how I identify. I don't use the trans label because to me, my transition's been over for a while. I use it for dating sites because, come on. I use it when I go to the doctor because physiologically speaking, I got a Y chromosome. So if I was to say that I'm all woman and there's no guy here, oh no. Don't be fooled. You're still part guy if you transition, okay? You can get surgeries, you can do all the cosmetic stuff, but you still physiologically have that Y chromosome. You're biologically male in terms of your physique and everything. I can grow breasts, I can change shape, but that's the reality of it. And that's okay. Who cares? I mean, all my friends that are girls, you think they really give a crap? No. You know, they say, "Oh, you don't get periods." I'm like, no, I don't. But and like I said before, if you're a trans woman, you don't get periods. You cannot get periods. You scientifically cannot get a period. I don't care what anybody tells you. You can't get a period because you don't ovulate. You do not ovulate. Say it with me. Oh, we don't ovulate. Now I sound like a freaking Dalek, man. Start exterminating people. No, that would be good. But anyway, that's for me. That is what being trans is like. I go to work most days. I'm wearing jeans. See, jeans right here. Wear a top like this. Hair's down. Usually my hair's up. Just because I don't wear makeup because I work in an industrial environment. And whatever. That's my life. You know, I honestly don't give a shit that I'm trans. I'm Joe. And I have a family that loves me. I have a career. I have my friends. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that I do that I think is a hell of a lot more important. Now, it's not going to be the same for everybody, but just take everything I say with a grain of salt. The experience is different for all of us. So, that's really all I got to say about that. So, that's a really bad Forrest Gump impression. But you know what? I'm tired, and I'm not going to apologize. So, until next time, everybody, this is Joe. I'm signing off. Happy Wednesday night, and who isn't looking forward for the weekend? So that's it. That's it. Thanks for watching, and remember, subscribe, or else like Kaiser Soze is going to get you or something. Yeah, Kaiser Soze. That's inventive. I don't watch that movie, but I'm too tired. All right. Good night, everybody. Love you.